everyone. My name's Adrian Park, or Parky. I'm a pilot, mainly rotary wing rescue, with a history of safety management, human factors roles, as well as a contributor to Flight Safety Australia. I'm also a proud Toowoomba resident for the last 27 years with my wife, my 3 daughters, a crazy Labrador, and an even crazier cat. I just wanted to take a few minutes of your time to let you know, firstly, the when, where, and what of our Professionals Under Pressure conference, and then secondly, the very important why of the conference, which is being held in honour of a local pilot and business owner, Robert Dull, who was tragically lost in an aviation accident in early 2020. To help with that second part, I've got my fellow organisers and presenters here to help. Say hello everyone. Nathan Dull, Laurie Shaw, Taran Ryan, and Ian Goldsmith, and we're going to hear shortly a bit more from them about the why of the conference. So firstly, the when, where, and what details of the conference, which, by the way, you can easily find at our website, professionalsunderpressure.com, and through which, via the Eventbrite link, you can register for $35. So $35 we think is pretty good value because it gets you a one-day conference beginning at 8:30 on Saturday, 26th of February, 2022, finishing at about 1700 on the same day. Refreshments and meals are provided throughout the day. It's at the Toowoomba City Golf Club, and it's a day of human factors sessions aimed at helping each of us better understand the effects of pressure and stress. The keynote address is from Greg Hood, who's the recently retired commissioner of the ATSB, and then there'll be follow-up sessions from industry professionals, which is us, on situational self-awareness, decision-making, neuroscience, trauma effects, and peer support. The conference is proudly sponsored by the ATSB, CASA, the Darling Downs Aero Club, Approved Aircraft Maintenance, Aerotech Flight Training, and the Australian Federation of Air Pilots, and all profits are going to be handed over to Life Flight Rescue, who do a great job in our local area here in Toowoomba as a rescue helicopter service. So one of the very important why of the conference, and I think the big thing to say before I hand over to my fellow organisers and presenters, is that we really wanted to focus on the humanity of aviation. It's really easy to get caught up in the systems, the technical aspects, the regulations, the procedures, the processes, and just forget at the centre of all that are human beings. And so this conference is really to refocus on our own humanity as aviation professionals. And most times our humanity does an awesome job, but sometimes when the pressure's too much or we underestimate the pressure, things can go really wrong. And that's the big why for me out of this conference, so that we can better understand our very human strengths and weaknesses, especially when the pressure is on. So that's my thoughts, but I'm pretty keen to hear from everyone else. And by the way, you can obviously defer to the website to see a more expansive bio of each person. But I'm just going to hand over first of all to Nathan, who's actually Robert Dull's son, and I'll let him give a quick intro, and then he can give us a little bit of the why in his own thoughts and words behind this conference, and then I'll hand over in turn to Laurie, Taran, and Ian. So over to you, Nathan.
Hey, thanks, Parky. Really appreciate it. My name is Nathan Dull, and I'm a pilot in the Royal Australian Air Force. In my current role, I'm a flying instructor, flying the Airbus KC-30 multi-role tanker transport. And in this role, I've had the privilege of working with some really incredible people, and often in some pretty high stress and high demand environments. And I guess it's this aspect of my job that's got me interested in that human side of aviation, and particularly doing high performance coaching and aviation culture reform. But this side of aviation, this human side, came into sharp focus for me a couple of years ago when, as Parky said, my dad and uncle were tragically killed in a light plane crash in northern New South Wales. And both of those men, they were aviation enthusiasts. They were true aviation nerds, and sometimes you couldn't get them to talk about anything else. But they loved flying, but unfortunately it cost them their lives, and in much the same way as many other people before them have. Even with all my human factors training and my interest in aviation safety, I can't understand what decisions they made on that day or what their thought processes were. It's very frustrating in a sense, but what I do know is that in my career, in my aviation career, I've had numerous close calls. And what I can really remember is how I felt and how I reacted in each of those situations. Fortunately for me, they've simply become bar stories. I'm really thankful, and it's quite a privilege to be able to get together as an aviation community and be able to glean wisdom from a whole bunch of aviation professionals. To be able to gather, ask questions, and talk openly about what it does mean to be a human being involved in aviation. It's going to be a great day, and I think it'll be a great tribute to my dad.
Thanks so much, Nathan, and I think it is going to be a really special day for that reason. I think we've all been in that situation before where we've sort of made decisions as aviation professionals that we kind of question later on, and thankfully we do get to sit around the bar and talk about it, but unfortunately sometimes people don't, and that's what we really want to focus on. So thanks so much, Nathan. And what we'll do now is we'll just hear from Taran, her thoughts on the conference and why she's involved.
Hi everyone, thanks Parky. My name's Taran and I'm a helicopter pilot and human factors instructor. Been involved in aviation for about 17 years now, and I've had the honour of serving in two militaries, both the South African Air Force and the Australian Army. I've also served in a number of civilian roles too, flying helicopters. I'm really excited to be involved in this Professionals Under Pressure conference because of the significance behind it, as we've just heard from Nathan, and the value it's going to bring to each conference attendee. Every professional should have a toolkit of tools to draw on, and this conference will provide you with just that. Tools to use both in your personal as well as your professional lives, no matter what you do, whether you're a pilot, an aircraft engineer, an air traffic controller, or just an aviation nut like all of us. I look forward to seeing you all at the conference and sharing a special day with you all. See you there.
Thanks very much, Taran, and hats off to you, because Taran's a new mum with about, 4 hours sleep last night, and she's still here with us this morning. And at one stage before COVID, it looked like she may even be having the baby close to the date of the conference, so we're all secretly pleased we had to move it, so now she can be involved. So thanks, Taran. And I'll hand over now to Ian, who's our resident psychologist, to keep us all on track with the various psychological aspects we're going to be talking about, make sure we don't say anything too crazy. So I'll hand over to you, Ian.
Hi, Ben. Hi, everyone. Ian Goldsmith's my name. I'm a psychologist, and I have spent 40-odd years following all sorts of things of interest as a psychologist during that time. The last 30 years I've worked in Toowoomba, so like Adrian, I'm a bit of a proud Toowoomba person. It's where we brought up our family, even though they've all fled now. But I've been in private practice in Toowoomba for the last 30 years, and one of those aspects that I've been heavily involved in is the training of peer supporters with emergency services. And I come a bit to aviation a bit as an outsider, I think. The peer support training is one of the things that I've been interested in and done some with Laurie's assistance with aviation people. But I think one of the things that I'm intrigued to bring to this workshop are some outsider views, I suppose. As an outsider, I think one of my strengths is that interest in trauma and interest in decision making and interest in judgments that are critical, and having learnt some of that from emergency services people, I guess I keep thinking that lots of that seems to apply to people in the aviation industry. And so I'm happy to come and share what I know and particularly learn from everyone who attends as to what their experience is. And hope that I can bring a little bit of some outsider psychology wisdom or intrigue that might advance everyone's understanding of themselves and their responses and actions. So I'm very pleased to be invited to participate.
Thanks so much, Ian. And yeah, we're really looking forward to hearing your wisdom. I know you've had a rich history in psych and various other organisations, and there's definitely a lot of relevance there, so we're looking forward to hearing more about that. I'll hand over now to Laurie, and really hats off to Laurie because it's probably his brainchild, and he can probably tell you the story himself about how he had his light aircraft serviced as approved aircraft maintenance, and it was really there when he heard about the tragedy that it was his idea to sort of set up a conference as a bit of a learning thing and as a bit of a way of respecting and honouring that legacy. So thanks so much to you, Laurie, and we'll hear a little bit from you, mate, about the why of the conference for you.
Thanks very much, Parky. Hello, everybody. My name's Laurie Shaw. I was with Cathay Pacific for 26 years as a wide-body captain. Been in the industry for 39 years total. Well, my aircraft, I've got a little Cessna 182 and it required some fairly heavy-duty maintenance on it. When I approached Nathan's brother Jamie to do the work on the aircraft, it's not long after the tragic accident, and seeing the grief on Jamie's face, it really touched me. It was almost palpable, and I felt so touched by it that I thought we'd have to help, or try and help with the grieving process within the community. So I approached Parky and Taran, Nathan, and with the family, and touted the idea of a day seminar to pretty much pay the respects and honour Nathan and Jamie's dad and uncle. So that's pretty much how it all came about. We've got some wonderful people here that will be helping present during the day. Ian, I've done a lot of work with over the last couple of years, and I do a lot of work in the peer support space with pretty much understanding trauma and how it affects people psychologically, because in my belief is that well-being equals performance equals safety, and it's very intrinsically involved with human factors. So I think that we're going to have a great day on the 26th of Feb, and looking forward to it.
Thanks very much, Laurie. And there's a couple of other people who are involved as well. Diane Tremaine is helping us with the comms side, and also Natalie Fogarty, who's a local Toowoomba resident, graphic design artist, that's helped us a lot with the various graphic design aspects of the conference. So you'll get to probably see them on the day if you come along. So thanks very much for listening to us today. And as you can see, there's some quite poignant reasons as to why the conference is happening. And we really believe it will be a special day. It'll be a day where we get to sort of become aware of what I call situational self-awareness, aware of our own limitations, but also our own strengths. And we actually have this awesome gift of aviation because of our humanity, and also because of people's perseverance, determination, courage, etc. And so we really want to emphasize that side of it, as well as our propensity at times to make mistakes or to make bad decisions. And we really want to learn about that and expand our situational self-awareness, just like we want to expand our situational awareness in other areas. So thanks very much, and would really look forward to seeing you there. As I said, there are more details on the website, professionalsunderpressure.com, and go there to register or put in inquiries and stuff, which will come through us. So thanks very much, everyone.